Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk. This is kind of a special edition because we just couldn't keep our mouth closed.
Special edition, a Wednesday
after
edition.
last night, we just had to come on the air and talk about the debacle that took place at the courthouse.
The people want to know. I mean, there's some people that attended that didn't. There's a lot of information on the internet that's true or not true. A lot of interpretations. But we would like to, do a little real talk about it and just kind of talk about what really happened. I was there, so I would like to give what I saw.
Kind of give your 2 cents worth in on what happened, what you saw happen. Before we do that, though, I want to make sure everybody understands that here at Shelbyville now we have full editorial control, and Bo is a candidate. We want to be up front that Bo is a candidate for District 5 Commissioner, and what we say on here is under complete control of Shelbyville Now's editorial authority. And we want to offer free airtime for anybody else and equal time to come on. Any candidate that would like to come on is open for that. And we just wanted to make sure everybody,
as always,
we wanted to be fair.
The door's open.
That's not the official disclaimer. I don't have it here, but just telling you it is.
But the little history, we've done this for several years, and it so happened here we are. So the disclaimer's out there, and now we want to bring our fine sponsors into the atmosphere here because we got a couple here, right, David?
Absolutely.
580 Graphics is always one of our big sponsors, and we've got Dennis Young Insurance, two of the premier right here, Bedford County, Shelbyville businesses. You got to check them out, and I think we got some footage to roll.
Yeah, we're gonna have a special message from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Looking to make your brand stand out? At 580 Graphics in Shelbyville, we turn your ideas into bold, professional results. From custom logo design to screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, decals, banners, and signage, we handle it all in-house with precision and fast turnaround. Whether you're a small business, a church group, a sports team, or a growing company, our experienced design team works with you every step of the way to bring your vision to life. We don't just print graphics. We help you get noticed. Exceptional service. Eye-catching design. Results that speak for themselves. Visit 580 Graphics today and let your brand make a statement.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
All righty, welcome back in here to Real Talk. And Bo, last night at the historical Bedford County Courthouse on the square, Bedford County Commission meeting, I think we just pretty much got a picture of how dysfunctional the establishment is.
Yes, we did. I mean, it was predictable once again. I thought maybe this time I go in there surprised about the outcome of what's happening, about, the people having their day and being happy for the seniors here in this case.
But I felt this coming.
Yeah, I did too. And it happened. And here we are. It has failed. This the senior tax freeze has failed. It's no more. It was debated some last night, but really it kind of got a few. First Boutwell spoke about how this may affect schools, and then I believe there were a few others. But Coach Biff, he finally called the question. He was ready to go. Yeah. I mean, not ready to go, but he was ready to vote.
He was ready to vote.
He was ready to vote for it.
I mean, here's the thing: when you start hearing all this regurgitated rhetoric that's not real. I mean, I get Commissioner Boutwell is real passionate about the schools.
Yes.
I get that. But for some reason, there was this fiction floating around that this was going to cost an enormous amount of money. And we urinate enough money away just from casual nonsense, $275,000 lights on the courthouse, $30,000 for tablets we can't get to work, $1,500 chairs that we're sitting in, probably $1,500 desk, and we can't even help Granny.
Yeah, they talk. That was the thing, how much it would affect schools, but there was nothing talked about of what could be cut. It could be cut. You could look at this budget. You could look at what we have. You could make some cuts in there. We talked about juvenile detention. Do we need to be in that business? Is that a moneymaker? Should juvenile detention be a moneymaker?
The plug should be the plug should be pulled on
So
that automatically.
that's just one example. So we've got that. We've got things that can be debated and we can be talked about, that there can be cuts. Instead, we go to, well, this is going to affect schools. Look, we don't want to affect schools. Nobody wants to affect schools.
Well, here's another thing, Bo. You got to look also. This thing is not going to cost us anything unless we have a property tax increase.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So that means, and the $60,000 that was floated out there, that's if we have a 20% property tax increase. So if you're fussing about how much it's going to cost, that means you're planning on your rate. You're going to raise property taxes.
That's right.
20%. All right. That tells me they're planning a property tax raise right now.
Oh, yeah. You've been hearing it going on in the background, and that nothing's guaranteed. I think it's time to pull back the spending. I think we can make this thing work without any type of increase, but it's going to take some cut. It's going to have to take somebody standing up for the people, for the money, and saying, look, not now. We love it, but not now. And it's going to take those tough decisions now. I say all that to say we do have a senior type of tax increase right now that's happening, that they are actively have, that the state, I believe, helps on. That, to my understanding, the county has only in the last few years they've only used it. It could have been used for a long time. But
what's that now?
This the one that they do have, the county voucher for the seniors, and they.
It's just money.
But they could have used it a lot longer and more money because they budget $100,000 for it, but they only spend $60,000 for it. So why not? Well, they got to start. What it sounds to me that they don't want to take care. Right now, they don't want to take care of our most important. And because we had 2 veterans last night that came up and talked to the commission about that. And not just because they're veterans, but they had real things and real worries. Even if there's one person that's in danger of losing their house because of tax increases, which that's right, it won't happen this year, but it's going to happen. Yeah. It'll help them be able to plan for the future. That's what it's all about. It's good-hearted. And whenever the greed outtakes the heart, then you're lost. And we've been lost for a long time. And there were some people there trying to stand up and be heard about it, but they weren't loud enough. And I understand the other side too. Let me maybe say that. The economic side, I understand that too.
How?
But,
I don't understand.
Well, I understand it by a number standpoint, but I don't understand it by people, by what you're there to do. You're there to serve people.
But numbers don't even exist until you raise your property taxes.
Right. But let's say they did. You got to put the people first. I mean, I'm sorry, you represent, right? You represent.
But it's not like, see, here's the thing, Bo. I think a lot of people were confused with this, and Eric Maddox addressed this. By the way, thank you to Eric Maddox and Josh Blevins for doing the work on this. Without them, this wouldn't even be in the conversation, and we wouldn't exposed how messed up our establishment is without stuff like this coming to the table, because those people that you saw stand up last night, the veterans that stood up, those people that stood up, asking for this to pass. Mm-hmm. 8 people told them to sit down and shut up. You're dumb.
Yeah.
And one didn't want to say it out loud.
I will say this. I think we've got a dangerous culture that's happening at the county commission level. And it has to do with personality and not policy. So if there's somebody that you don't like that brings something up, then you're automatically against it. Or if it's one of your buddies that bring it up, you're automatically for it. Right. And that has got to stop. Yeah. We have got to stop looking at the people and who brought it up. If somebody said the sky's blue and you don't like them, well, you're going to look crazy if you don't say that it didn't. That's how we're going to get past this. And it's going to have to be us saying, hey, you know what? Senior tax freeze. Okay, I see what the numbers are saying, but they deserve it. Let's do it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Seniors don't have that much longer to live.
This was a no-brainer. We had 96% of the people take our poll that said they were 100% for this, and 4%. Okay. So you got 50% of the commission that basically spit in the face of 94 or 95, 96% of the population. Okay.
So to speak.
All right. So we got an election coming up.
Yes, we do.
If we only have 4,000 people vote, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble
because those 4,000, they're all county employees.
And we know that can happen.
County employees, their friends, the establishment goes to the voting polls and make sure that they protect their crew. Okay.
Well, there were several that are running, and there are several that are running unopposed. And one of them is I'm running against. and she happened to vote against it. And that's just the way it happened. That's nobody. It's not a secret, but that's what happened.
Oh,
and
I
we
mean,
got to start thinking.
let's
is
take
it
a
that
look.
time?
Let's take a look at really the real issue. Eric Maddox is on that commission, and he was the lead commissioner, and he had Anita Epperson. Well, you look at the people that supported this.
Mm-hmm.
There were 9 of them. And by the way, Keith Davis was listed on Shelbyville Now as voting against this. And I'll just say, Keith loves Granny. Okay.
He loves his mama because his mama's going to be accusing him.
Yeah, well, anyway, he said he loved Granny last night, and he does because he voted in favor of this.
Yes.
Even though we posted, and Josh got that corrected.
And
it was a misgiving. So.
It shows that Josh is a human.
Yeah,
he don't show it much, but he showed it there. And he apologized and made it right.
So what we have here is we have Eric bringing this to the table. And because he's not a part of the posse over here, they're just going to vote against it no matter what.
Regardless if it's Eric or whoever, look, we got to work together. You got to quit doing that. We got to quit doing this. And maybe when the election happens, we'll finally get to doing that.
Right.
And if Eric has a good idea, then let's go with it. If Eric has a bad idea, then throw our idea. Let's talk. Maybe it doesn't work, but that's okay. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, but this you can predict every vote right there, and that's not good.
All right. I see Diane Neely's in there. She said Bo's exactly right. It's personality over what's best for our county.
And Miss Diane Neely, thank you very much. Everybody got their whooping last night. The other side, just say that thank you for your service. That's representing the people. Wow. I mean, she got a round of applause.
In 6 weeks, Bo, early voting starts. Based on what I've seen on social media, if you're an incumbent and you voted against this, wow. And I noticed one other thing, too. It seems like the people that voted against this all have people are being supported by this PAC that's out there, the Better Bedford PAC.
I don't know if that's just a coincidence or not.
No, it's part of it.
Well, it is what it is. That is what's happening. And we do have one other issue that we need to talk about, and that is the pass. Look, if you don't have a backbone to either vote for something, yes or no, and this is against no personality, no, this is just the seat that you're in as a commissioner. Whoever, that seat, it's not about the person. If you can't vote yes or no, you need to just get up and go right now.
Yeah.
Because, you're doing a disservice to your community.
All right. So let's just talk about that for a second. You've got some commissioners that are uncontested. And if you live in one of those districts, you don't have to go in there and vote for them.
Yeah, that's
you
exactly
can go vote and just leave that blank.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty good plan. If y'all want to just start spreading that around.
Well,
if your commissioner voted against this last night and you're ticked off about it, and I think basically all of Bedford County is ticked off about it, except for the establishment people. Yeah. And there's a lot of the people that are kind of associated with that are like disappointed that did not pass.
Yes.
And you can use all kinds of lame excuses you want. Oh, it wasn't helping enough people. Blah, blah, blah.
Enough people?
No, yeah, come on, man.
Enough people? If it's helping a person,
okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
This is where I am right now.
Okay,
and I have been leaning this way for a few years now, but I am totally 100% anti-establishment at this point in our local government. Okay. Well, I am anything. I don't trust it. I don't trust from that crew anything that's said because I heard the lies that were told on this, and shame on them. I mean, that's all I can say.
It was, and it was a shameful thing. I'm glad there was a kind of a trick question thrown in there, or a double-sided question that kind of got called out by Mr. Hooker. He called that out. I'm just glad that Biff said, enough's enough. Let's vote this thing through. And it wasn't because he wanted to go home early. Let me tell you, Biff works hard all day.
Oh, I know.
He's doing hay across from where my parents live. Right, he ain't ready to go home. He'll stay all night. So if you think he's ready to vote, and that's what the right thing to do.
All right, so here I'm gonna go down this list, and this I've got it embedded in my head because this is the separation we've had for the last 5 years. Okay, you got Drew Hooker. You got Bill Anderson. You got Anita Epperson. You got Bill Farrer. You got Adam Thomas. You got Troy Thompson. You've got Eric Maddox. Mm-hmm. Who else we got?
We got Diane Neely.
And Diane Neely. All right, you put those together. And last night we had Keith Davis come in, and they voted on what's best for the people of Bedford County, and they listened to their constituents.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, they did.
And I think, just my opinion, and Keith, I'm gonna just say this. Keith brought up some points about education, but in the end, he voted yes.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's
all
fair.
right.
That's
all
fair.
right. So I'm going to think he was listening to his constituents. And even though he might not have thought it was the best thing to do, he still listened to his constituents and voted.
Hey, that's not being predictable right there. He's making a choice there. And that's what you're supposed to do. Your mind can get changed, but you can also say, hey, guys, this is going to affect something. I just want to let y'all know. And then you can still speak for your constituent. And let's talk about constituents for a minute. A lot of people say, well, that ain't what everybody says, the constituent. Well, you need to get out and talk to everybody if that's not what you think. On this issue, I just think it was overwhelmingly supported by the public, by the citizens. And it's really, you dropped the ball that you did this, and you really kind of showed who you were and what you think about this decision. And then I know that they've got explanations, and they break it down. They say, look at the number here. And so I will rebut that with, well, look at all these inflated numbers here. Let's do some cutting. Let's trim the fat, and let's get this thing going. I mean, and then they said that there wasn't that many counties doing it. There's quite a bit. I think 20 something counties. That's a lot. I mean, we got 95. I get it.
If here's the thing,
if they have to go through this type of opposition, I know why they're not doing it.
Well, here's the thing. What's fixing to happen, Bo? Our local governments are getting so dysfunctional. I think the state of Tennessee is going to start coming in. Like, I think that we will see within the next year a move to get rid of all property taxes in the state of Tennessee, just like what Florida's doing. Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody's going to say, oh, where's going to be the revenue coming in? The state of Tennessee is flush. They're rolling in money. And I look for these counties that are like this. Well, it'll probably be through the whole state. Somebody's going to bring it up, and it's going to pass, and there ain't going to be no property taxes. There's a move nationwide because people are going to be sitting in the streets. Even those people that are paying rent. And I've seen this. If you pay rent, and everybody out there thinks, well, if you pay rent, you don't pay property taxes. No, I guarantee you're paying property taxes and higher rent. Because whoever owns that property is paying property taxes, and they passing it right along to you.
It's just like the tariffs, right? We pass it along.
And then if the state were to do that, and the state were to fund the counties, we'd be crying the blues. The establishment would be crying the blues. We ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. And then they'd be willing to pass a wheel tax.
Well, that's another thing. Right. And if the people want it, then let it, but put it referendum.
Here's where we are. August, election time comes. If everybody that took the poll, the 96%, if they go in there and flip the trigger the right way on the vote machine and quit just looking at yard signs, get out and look at the records. That's right. I mean, these pictures are posted all over social media. Yeah. And there is people flaming mad.
And this ain't the first time this has happened.
But we have got to get out and vote. Everybody has to go vote. If we want to clean this mess up, we got to vote.
You have to vote.
I'm looking at the voters now as janitors cleaning up a mess.
It's time to clean up a mess. It's time to get mad about it. It's time to be represented the right way. And if you ain't, this is where you clean house. This is where you do it.
And if we don't put the right mayor into that seat up there, to change the tone in Bedford County, we cannot vote for establishment people.
We have to get
ordinary citizens, the citizens that have to balance the checkbook every day, that have to look at it, and they don't look at it from the standpoint, well, we're part of the establishment. We have to do what we're told. No, you do what your people, your constituents tell you. We need true representation, because right now we ain't got it. We ain't got it here. We ain't got it in other areas too. And it's getting a little bit heavy on me to even keep my mouth shut about it. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, it begs the question now, if the city will be taking on this matter too. And I will be interested to see what the city does in this matter, if they follow suit with the county, or if they decide that maybe they can do the tax freeze. They're still going to consider this, the way I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when or when.
Who's going to consider it?
The city council.
Yeah, well, here we go again.
We might be another 4-2.
Josh Blevins' heart. He's got an uphill battle there too, because it seems like when good people go together in a room, they lose their brains. Or they just all got to, they can't do and think for themselves. I don't know what it is, but I know people right now sitting on that commission that were told to vote a certain way, and they voted that way because they were told to, because they were chicken.
Told
to. You'll vote this way.
No, that ain't.
And it's not they didn't get a email, but it's just a given.
Oh,
Eric Maddox is for it, so that means we got to be against it.
well, that ain't how it works. I don't care. If
That's how this works.
If it's let's just use for example, if it's any of them, Greg Vick that wants something that's really great, then let's join together. I'm not going to be against it because it's Greg Vick or just because it's Diane Neely or just because it's Chad, Graham.
Here's the thing. If any one of those that had voted no last night or passed had brought this up to the table, it would have passed. You know why? Because all the other the 9 that voted for it this time would have voted, and then the ones that voted against it would have been unanimous.
Don't be so sure that doesn't come up pretty soon. I wouldn't be so surprised if the ones that voted against it now bring it up in a year or something like that.
No, you get that out.
No, a lot
of
of those
face.
are gone. Yeah,
and we're going to do it, but we're going to do it as a team. You ain't going to get credit for this.
That's where we got to quit. The credit. Like put me in a box and here you go. Let's get you don't want credit. I want this thing to run like a limited machine.
All right,
limited
we got
government.
Jordan Malone says we need to get people registered. Well, that's true. We need to get as many people registered as possible. But if only half of the 30,000 people that are registered would get out and vote,
look, we've only got
this would be cleaned up one time.
We get 7,000 maybe. That's really good. I mean, we've got how many? Did you say
30,000?
30,000. 30,000 and only said, wake up, let's go vote. Let's make it a hobby. Hey, you need a new hobby, go vote.
If you could get out, if we could just get out and get all our friends and family to go up there and they can vote. We got 2 weeks of early voting, for crying out loud. We need to flood the basement of that annex building up there.
Yeah.
Or if it's the basement, I don't know, whatever the floor is.
That's
where you
like
go and where you go vote.
Voted. Yeah.
It needs to be lined up in the parking lot the first day. And if you got a commissioner that voted against this and that's your only choice, leave it blank.
Yep.
Just leave it blank. Send a message. Let's see some low vote counts on these uncontested guys.
Hey, and then whenever the election happens and if you do have new people in there, let's hold them accountable just the same. Remember, at campaigns, there's big promises. You've got to follow up. You've got to live it out. So let's always keep
all right,
that pressure.
Jordan, you coming in here now with some sexist stuff. That offends me. I'm quite sure there's somebody else that can do it too. Now, don't get me wrong. My wife would agree with you that we always make a mess, and I'm not going to argue with it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people had a hand in making this mess over the years. It just didn't come up. I've been watching it for a long time, and it's just this whole mindset of establishment against the public. The establishment, whatever you want to look at, serves the public, and it's time to send that message by cleaning the whole bunch out.
Let's define establishment for a minute. Let's talk about what establishment is.
Okay.
You hear about the word establishment. Where's the establishment? Well, I would say that it's more of something that's more beneficial. It's an idea that's more beneficial to the government than to the people. Would you agree with that statement?
Yep.
That's what it is. It's an ever kind of growing and tentacles around you type deal. We're the government and we're here to help.
But here's the thing, Bo. There's a handful of people that have complete control of it. And it ain't the citizens of Bedford County. It's not the citizens of the state of Tennessee. It's money. And money has control of
greed. You saw last night where greed took the place of the heart.
Yep.
That's the root of it right now.
And, the greed was, I want to prove him wrong. I'm against him.
Yeah.
I'm against this group.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And in turn, they're saying they're against the public because those people that I listed out early, they have been standing up for the public.
If they weren't, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
If they weren't, that's exactly what it looks like.
But I'm going to tell you whose fault this is. It's the people that don't go vote's fault. We do not turn out at the voting booth in Bedford County.
We'll forget about this.
And it's woefully bad. I mean, just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll forget. Voters got short memories. Remember, the wheel tax debacle not too long ago was the same kind of deal. Same kind of deal. They were wanting to push a private act in here and just take all the dollars out. And
75-80% of the people were against it.
Yes.
But yet next election, those people that voted for were wanting to push it. They got reelected.
The same people that voted for that wheel tax are the same people
voted
right
against
here.
this.
Let's remember history. Let's always take notes and let's not have short-sighted memories. Let's get in there and let's make a new hobby out of voting. How about we vote? Everybody gets one. Go do it. That's what you do.
Hey, Jordan, I was kidding. You didn't offend me.
He can't be offended.
I can't be
I don't
offended.
think he can be offended.
So
He's just joking.
There's something about an excise tax here.
Well, everybody needs to exercise.
Let's see. Well, I can't find it now.
We've had a lot of comments, good comments. It takes a minute to
Would a
sift
county
through.
excise tax on aggregate being trucked out of these farm pond quarries help offset some of these programs? I don't know.
Well, look, that's one example, but there's many other. That's just a big topic right now that's happening.
Honestly,
there are a lot of examples.
This little program is not going to cost anything. Like they were blowing up this number. I mean, they're planning on a 20% tax increase, obviously.
Well,
and Bo, if you get in one of those seats, that's what you're going to be faced with. The same crew trying to ram a property tax
we
increase.
keep it simple and represent the people, and then we'll discuss it when it comes. But that's something that's currently not happening. But there are a lot of options, and not just the hot topics of ways to cut and trim the fat. There are. It's going to hurt some people, but we got to make tough decisions, right? The truth hurts. Cutting, you don't want to cut things. You don't, but temporarily or maybe permanently, you got to.
If we just trim the fat off of it, I mean,
but it can't be like the schools. It can't be the sheriff's department. It can't be.
Well,
if anything, they need to be beefed up.
Well, here's the thing. I think each department has to be analyzed from a procedural audit standpoint, to where you look at how you do things. I mean, small expenditures, a group of small expenditures that are out of control. Let's say you spend too much on Gatorade. Okay, I got that Gatorade right. So let's say you spend too much on ink pens. Let's say you spend too much on paper. Mm-hmm. Let's say you spend just little things. You start piling them up, it turns into something big. Okay. And people, just like the subscriptions you have, Bo, for your television viewing. Okay, let's you got this app and that's $5. You get this app and it's $6. You get this app, it's $19.99. And the next thing you know, you got all these things. You look up, it's $300 or $400. That's the way you need to look at every department.
Yes,
all the little things add up.
I agree.
And you look at
the
sheriff department.
Sorry, no pay-per-view.
I guarantee you, the sheriff's department right now could free up enough money just in this little things that are not being done exactly right. I'm not saying they're grossly wrong, just tweaking it and getting this thing to be a fine, smooth running machine, lean and right. You would have enough probably to hire a couple of employees.
I think nothing's absolute, and I think even down to the home level that you can always balance your budget or cut things out. So for someone to say no, we can't cut anything, they're lying. There's just no way around it. But I do know that there are things. Those are important things. Fire, police. The kids.
Well, let's realistically
roads.
Let's realistically look at these four things. Okay, I'm not plugged into the sheriff's department. I just react to what I see happening, and generally everything is good there. Generally, okay. And you look at fire and EMS. I think generally everything is good there.
Putting out fires.
Saving
lives.
Here's the thing about that. Those are two of the bedrock foundational services that county government provides. Those two things. Then you shift over here to roads. I think Mark Clanton is woefully underfunded. All right. And that needs to be looked at. Whether it be grants, we got to do a better job, and I know there's work toward grants.
You expect great roads without having the money?
You don't have as much as it costs to pave. It costs a lot to pave. By the time he goes around the entire county, it takes him 30 years or longer to get around to all the roads. Okay, it's just the way it is.
It is
tough job. And then let's just look at education. The state is the primary funder of our education in Bedford County, not county government. Okay, we do a little bit, a small amount. And last night it was talked about how we were on the bottom of the totem pole in the state of Tennessee, and the state of Tennessee is at the bottom of the nation. So I'm going to ask this question. Does more money equal better education?
Oh, not necessarily. I mean, a lot of
I'm just
teachers,
asking.
I think, do. And it's pretty sad that the only time that statistic comes up is when they're wanting to go against something that would help the citizens. That right there needs to be brought up at every single meeting. Where the lowest totem pole. but we like to bring it up just to craftily answer or argue points.
Oh, I know
in our favor.
So
if that's really important, then that needs to be taken. That needs to be
right.
Screened at every day.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about that. Our county commission really don't do a whole lot with that other than approve the budget that comes from the Board of Education. The Board of Education does that. And the Board of Education, I'm sure, would take more money.
But yeah.
Okay. They're always fighting for it. But my question, going back to this, is more money in the education actually going to make education better? I think there's a combination of things. First of all, I think we got some great teachers. Okay. I don't count them as part of the establishment.
No.
They're paid by the state.
They're
basically.
Teachers.
They're teachers.
I
mean, and you got a lot of teachers that are retired that have really needed the property tax freeze. Okay.
Yes.
So we just kick
saying.
them out to the
Just
road.
saying.
Just saying. All right. But you look at all this, Bedford County pays like 16% of our educational budget.
Right.
Well, what do we want to do? Bump it to 17, 18%? Okay. If so, what are we going to cut? Are we going to not pave roads? Are we going to put out less fires? Are we going to arrest fewer criminals? I think there's a lot of stuff in the cracks. These little slush funds sitting around everywhere, and everybody that's getting a book, Anita Epperson, Diane Neely, I see y'all out there. You need to start looking in all the cracks and crevices right now for all the slush and all the little funds that are considered miscellaneous or whatever.
Oh, they're looking.
They're
Believe
in there.
Me, they're
They're
looking,
in there.
and they know it. And the problem is calling them out and getting them and taking action on them. There's a lot of talk about it, but it's time to take the action. And I just don't.
Every dollar that's in that budget needs to be associated with an expense today. A budget is when you take the money that you're going to receive and you spend it ahead of time in the form of a plan. And if there's a fund that you don't know where it's going, that's got to go.
Respectfully,
You ain't
so.
gotta go. If you don't have a plan for it and just want to bring it up, just set aside an emergency fund over here and forget the little projects.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have $300,000 or $400,000 sitting here and $100,000 sitting here and $50,000 sitting here. Well, what's that for? Nobody knows.
It's a great argument, and it's time to take action on it. It's time to really use it or cut it, lose it, or whatever we have to do to get the things that are most important. Those things. If we need to beef up the sheriff's department, which I think could use a little bit more, and I believe they would say that too. And it's not because they're not doing a great job. It's just because this county's pretty big and it's hard to cover every little thing.
Yeah, you can't take four or five. You can't take 4 or 5 patrolmen and cover this county.
It's hard to do. So I would love to be able to. I think that's money well spent. But when you've got a lot of just garbage in there, that's what I'll call it. I'll call it garbage.
Yeah.
There's probably some garbage.
There he is. If you're honest about it, if I'm honest about the way I look at my money and budget, I blow some money. All right, just like this Gatorade right here.
Right.
I stopped at a convenience store and bought that and paid twice the price. That was stupid.
Right.
All right, that was stupid.
But if you say you're not, then you're lying to yourself.
I
Right?
know.
So I mean, we can do it at a fundamental home level. Why can't we do it there? It's there, but you got to have the people that want to do that. And
All right, Jordan has got a great idea. We need easy explainers for what every penny of taxpayer money goes to. If you ain't got a plan for it, then you put it over in a fund and have it sitting there where it takes an act of the commissioners
yes
to pull into it.
And it don't need to be named miscellaneous.
No. We've had some miscellaneous stuff for years, and I just wonder what happened to it.
You just need to label it something or give it to the sheriff's department. You know, I like sheriff or the emergency fire department,
whatever.
Something that we need. Don't miscellaneous it.
Whatever
Or the
it needs
rainy
to
day
be.
fund.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a rainy day
emergency fund for crying out loud. And debt services. Oh my gosh.
That don't even get me. Yeah.
All right. So Bo, it's going to be a tough road ahead.
Oh yeah.
And we've got to have the right people sitting in those commissioner seats at the county level. And at the city level, we've got to have the right people in those council seats, because right now going forward for the next 5 years is make or break financial time for Bedford County and the city of Shelbyville and a lot of other counties our size.
Tough decisions will be coming along the horizon. And there will be some that we foresee and some that we can't. But that's when it takes the most. It's when your vote counts, is when you get represented the most. and apparently there was misrepresentation last night. I think it's time for us to rethink things and maybe a different path forward is the best way.
And here's another thing that the city and the county have to do to understand the condition that we're in at this moment. If you look at every family that moves to Bedford County and buys or builds a home, okay, we go in the hole a little further as far as being able to service them with the money we're collecting, because the money that's coming in property tax wise is not enough to service them.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's costing, I forgot the last number I heard, but it was extraordinarily higher. We don't get any type of impact fee. We don't get anything on the front end there that we desperately need. I know we can't do it because in the city, because of what some people are grandfathered in. It's because of our charter, whatever. But I always think nothing's absolute. I think you can always find a creative way to find spending. If somebody wants to build, if they want to pay, if they want to play, then they need to pay to play, right?
Yeah, and that's a one-time fee.
It's a one-time fee.
But going forward, the money collected. All right, so where does this put us as a society? Because this is everywhere. When the property taxes and the taxes we pay are not being managed right and can't cover the services that are needed that everybody wants, where are we at?
You've got to stop.
Something's got to stop.
You've got to push pause. You have to push pause and regroup. There's no way that you could keep going forward.
We're going to go bankrupt.
Go bankrupt, or you're going to start using inferior designs or inferior type products, and you're going to have a bad system. You want to build it right. You don't want to use the cheap stuff. You want to do it right. Something's going to give there if you don't. So it's not a bad idea sometimes to temporarily halt things and catch up, but you have to catch up.
But we can't catch up. But we've dug ourselves such a big hole.
There's
with
a
our
solution
infrastructure
out there, though. There is, and I think it has to do with those that are wanting to build and bring these businesses in. I think they're going to have to carry a little more themselves. But I hate to put it all on them and the taxpayers.
And this is a combination. It's not all government's fault, but they've had a big hand in it. The establishment has a huge hand in digging the hole that we're in. Okay. And it goes back for years.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing.
All right. New. It's not like for the last 30 years. New. That's how Bedford County and the city of Shelbyville's infrastructure has gone down the tubes. It's going back 30 years and not catching up because we never saw that we're going to go from 15,000 people in the city of Shelbyville to 30,000 people in the city of Shelbyville. And when that happens, and the money that you've collected is not going to be able to pay for the infrastructure and never was going to be able to pay for it. And you've dug yourself a hole. So now we turn into a charity case.
That's exactly right. That's kind of where we're at right
we're
now.
Looking for money.
Yeah, we're looking for money for new infrastructure, and we can't take care of existing. I mean, it's falling apart every day. I mean, and it hadn't been a plan for. They're reacting every day.
Let me ask you this, Bo. Have you driven on the 437-1 bypass in the last couple of weeks?
Oh yeah, I like the bypass.
All right, I drive through my car and it don't feel too bad, but I took a truck down through there the other day and it's rough as a cob. I don't know if all those trucks carrying all this gravel and stuff in that Walmart distribution center and other trucks coming through here, and I don't know if that road was not foundationally prepped right. But man, it's a mess.
Yeah, I'd say it is. Let's say just it's a newer road. But there are a lot of areas in it that I believe that weren't compacted correctly. But those dump trucks did not help a lot. No. And there's also a lot of construction that's just happening in that four corner area. There's a lot of traffic there, and it's about time for. And I think that'll be a state road there.
It's a state. So it has nothing to do with city or county.
Yeah.
But my point is, this is the way things are everywhere.
Yes, they are.
I drove down toward Chattanooga today.
Mm-hmm.
There's construction everywhere that the state's doing. Mm-hmm. Okay, TDOT's all over the place.
Oh yeah,
they're not going to be able to come in here and take care of the city and county roads. That's our responsibility, and we don't get enough money in to take care of the roads like everybody wants it. We don't get enough money in to take care of the school system like everybody wants it. We don't get enough money in for people to take care of our EMS and our fire to satisfy what everybody wants. We don't get enough money in for the sheriff and our police departments to satisfy everybody the way it wants done. So where do we prioritize? But what do we cut?
Well, here's one thing that I know for a fact is we at a state level, there's local, commissioners. We can represent and have a good relationship with the state. Right now, it is almost non-existent, except for a few special interests. If there are some seats that haven't been taken advantage of, that I know for a fact that where you have to kind of scream at the state. Everybody screams, and then we have nobody screaming, and that's why we got on the 10-year, not even the 10-year plan of the bypass.
Yeah.
So there are a few avenues that I've already looked into of ways to let's just say strengthen that relationship with the state of Tennessee and say, hey, Bedford County, Shelbyville, because we've been maybe the priority has been. I'm glad they got the broadband, but I mean that's a big thing that we need. But it's time for the transportation part of it.
Right.
Now, we've got dangerous roads. We're overutilizing county roads. There is a way of success because hey, the state's giving, they're helping, they're giving out.
They're giving out money.
So we're being under,
and you know whose money that is.
That's mine and yours.
Exactly.
And theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all of ours.
So
anyway, that's one way that
right.
I know that we're not being taken, that we can take advantage of with the right representation.
Yeah. That's key. We got to have right representation. Let's wind this one thing down, and I want to do this. Okay, let's take a look at the establishment. I said I'm anti-establishment. I'm anti-establishment the way it's constructed and the way it's operating right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay, fair.
All right. And on the other side of this, I'm a taxpayer. I'm looking at this over here. I'm looking at the establishment. I'm looking at all of our citizens out here. They're paying property taxes. They're paying fees. They're paying.
They pay.
All right. Until you don't have nothing left. All right. So we expect that we're paying so much to get more than the establishment can provide. Okay. Now, the establishment has brought a lot of this on itself by just frivolous spending. But also, are we being realistic for what we're expecting and what we're going to expect in the future as taxpayers? That's the question. I think that the establishment, local governments have to move forward in an honest way to say, guys, we're going to do an audit. We're going to look at every penny we're spending and how we're spending it, and we're going to account for every penny. The taxpayers can then say, okay, if you do that, we're going to share with you what we might want to just cut back on. What's our priorities? The community in Bedford County and the city of Shelbyville needs to prioritize.
Yeah, that's it.
Have got to prioritize.
What's our priorities?
Yes.
Don't tell us what our priorities are. We've got to voice them and to know what it is, because that's how you get, I think, a fairer representation.
Yep.
And you just have to take the pulse of the people. You
Yep.
have to. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's
Yep.
really all about that. We want limited government. I mean, we shouldn't expect so much. I mean, I know you give a lot. I don't expect a lot from my government. I expect them to answer my emergency calls. You know, I expect them to be there when I need them, but I don't expect,
Well, here's let me throw this out there, Bo. You say you expect them to answer your calls. All right. Here's one thing that I think we have a misconception about. We think that law enforcement is there to prevent crime. Law enforcement can't prevent crime. They can deter it by being out on patrol.
But they will if they could.
They would if they could, but they can't be everywhere.
They can't predict it.
All right. Okay. So what we need
Maybe
is
sometime.
we expect response
Right.
to crime, and we get it. Okay.
Yes.
But they can't prevent it.
No, they can't. They
Okay.
can't. I mean,
Why do we need them to respond? So that it doesn't continue at that location at that time, and so they can fill out a report.
I do think that there's an argument. I think good policing and strong policing can, in a way, curtail it. Maybe not prevent it, but it can surely knock it down if there's a presence.
And I think both of our sheriff candidates want to involve the public more. And have some connectivity with the citizens more than we have right now.
Yeah, that's the guys.
Like neighborhood watches, area watches, and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's the guys that they are.
We've got to do that.
Yes.
Fire. I don't expect the fire department to stop my house from burning. I expect them to, hey, get out here and let's put it out as quick as we can.
Make sure the neighbors don't burn down.
Make sure the neighbors. That's basically what fire can do.
But that's important.
They can't prevent fire.
No, they can. They do. But in education, they educate.
Yeah,
they do go to schools. They educate. That's their way to prevent. They try to say be safe in the winter, but you're right. Practically, they cannot prevent a fire that's happening that they don't know about. Once again, they can't predict the future.
All right. Now, roads, that has to be a proactive thing, but we can only do so much with the money we got.
Well, they're expensive.
So
roads are expensive.
I've gone full circle here, Bo, and this is the way I think in my mind. We shouldn't be bragging about how big our government is. We should want to be bragging about how lean and effective it is, and how efficient it
A
is.
fine-tuned machine.
And when our public, those voters out there that are so mad right now, and I don't blame them, I'm mad too, they can look and they see the effort to streamline and be effective and efficient and maximizing every penny that's brought into our county and our city, then I think the public will start getting some trust back. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and you talk about streamline, you can automate some things, and probably, I know it's not the best thing to say, but kind of save some money. We'll just say you could automate some services that right now you're not automating, and it needs to be looked at in a certain sense, in certain ways. I'm not saying all of them, but I mean, if the argument's going to be about the money, then we got to talk about the money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just don't talk about the money when it's.
I hate to hear bragging about how big our budget is. I'd rather to hear how small it is.
That book's big. I saw it.
I mean, I've heard elected representatives and office holders brag about how big the budget is.
Oh, that's not a brag. That's like I mean,
to me, it's
like
repulsive.
a bowl. It's like having a bowl sitting on your face.
Let's listen. Let's talk about how we can reduce property taxes instead of how to increase. That's going to be a tough challenge because we've got so loose with our spending.
It's easy to talk about here, and this is real talk, and that's what we do. Yeah. And it doesn't get started unless you talk. But it is. You're right. It's hard. These take steps. These take relationships, and they take the public and everybody together. But let's remember, nothing's absolute, and we can challenge what we've got, and we don't have to keep growing budgets. We can make that thing a little slimmer. I believe we can.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of questions to answer, Bo, and we don't have the answers to them.
I wish I did, but I don't.
I know this. I know this. There is answers out there, but somebody does have to look and find them. And the budget coming up is a place to start. So you commissioners that are watching, look for every penny.
Yes.
And that's a lot of work. But we appreciate you doing that.
Now, yes, we do. And I will say, just a real plug, tomorrow night in Flat Creek, they're having the Meet the Candidates at the community center. And there's also one in Flat Creek, and that's at 6:30 p.m. in Flat Creek at the community center. I believe that's where that's at. And then
is that where the voting precinct is?
Yes. Okay. And then there's also the one for the 4th district. And at the WBTS, I believe, the same night. I know we're competing the same night there, but we're going to just call that.
It's two separate.
We're over-informed. Yeah. We're over-informing. I mean, but it's going to be some information coming out. I know Diane and them are ready, and I think that we are too. So we're going to have a question and answer, kind of similar to what the one in Normandy was. They'll have a jar of questions, and we'll have a moderator. We look forward, but yes, 6:30 tomorrow night, Flat Creek. I'm not sure what time theirs is, but I know theirs is in Wheels. So just check Facebook out on that. I just wanted a quick plug on that.
We're going to get out of here. I know we've been around in circles on this situation, but I know that the general public, the biggest percent of them are not happy campers right now.
They're not.
And I get it. I'm not a happy camper. No. I'm very disappointed. Yep. I'm actually really irritated with the establishment right now. Yep. And I will continue to do so until they prove otherwise and try to make an honest effort to do things right. And there's a lot of people caught up within that system that do try to do things right. Unfortunately, a handful of bad people can mess up the entire thing. You've always heard that. Rotten apples can spoil the whole thing, and that's a sad situation. But everybody just be honest.
Be yourself.
Try to move forward like honestly representing the people. That's all it needs to be.
Represent. Don't be influenced.
The monkey's off your back.
It makes it easy. I mean, I'm just saying it's not that complicated. All right. Well, that was good.
Y'all have
thanks for the comments. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back.
When are we coming back, Dave? Shall we come back this week, or shall we just give the people a break?
Let's give them a little break.
Okay. I think once this week. It came pretty hot today. So
we came in hot.
Share this one, and we'll go
on 2 wheels. All right. Have a great